Having a great week. It's good to see you all. I'm so excited to hop on and talk live about all things prebiotics and probiotics today. Gut health is one of my favorite topics to present on. It's gaining a lot of traction in the nutrition and dietetic space for doing so much more than just keeping our guts healthy. It keeps our brains healthy. It keeps all of the other organs in our body functioning properly. So a strong, healthy gut and good gut health hygiene is going to be so crucial to so many things that we're going to cover today. I want to thank you all for jumping on today. This is almost a record-breaking signups for our YouFit times EatLove nutrition webinars. So thank you all for dedicating the next 30 minutes or so to our topic. For those of you that are new to these monthly webinars, my name is Ale Zozos. I'm a registered dietitian with EatLove. So if you want to stick around towards the end of our topic and presentation today, I always do a 5 to 10-minute review of a nutrition benefit that you get by being a YouFit member with a Premium Plus membership. So that's really where I like to start, just so I know who's in our audience today, is just to better understand what type of YouFit membership you have, because you may already have this benefit and not even know about it. So I want to bring some awareness to all of the benefits that you get with your membership at YouFit. So the options are not currently a member. We do have some prospective members joining these webinars. These are great free resources for you to learn more about nutrition education in a low stress environment. And then basic is your basic membership, premium, and then the Premium Plus, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was $39 a month, which is just about $10 more than the premium, and you get EatLove as part of that. So it's a very top tier. EatLove is that free benefit for all of you. It's a really lime card. I am not sure, Kay, on the colors of the cards. I would check with your home gym to double check. But once you do upgrade or sign on with a Premium Plus membership, in about a day or so, you will get an invite to create your EatLove profile. I'll talk all about that towards the end, but just keeping in mind that everything we talk about nutrition related, whether it's gut health, whether it's managing sugar levels, and whether it's managing weight loss or any other nutrition goal you have, this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of these benefits that YouFit can bring you. So let's get started today with our topic, which is the ever hilarious title that I love, the Gutsy Guide to Probiotics and Prebiotics for Healthy Guts and Better Poops. Of course, because everything that we do gut-wise is going to help everything in our GI system, including that situation in the bathroom as well. So let's jump into our objectives today. So we're going to review our comprehensive guide on probiotics and prebiotics. I'm going to cover probiotics first for a couple of reasons, and then we'll get into the prebiotic side. We'll talk about some popular strands. We'll talk about benefits. We'll talk about if probiotic supplements are right for you. And then, of course, the disclaimers for all of that. Understanding the significance of the gut health and its impact and overall well-being. Also going to throw in their tips to get started, some really delicious food photography, and then we'll talk a little bit about EatLove. Got it. Premium. I do think that sounds right, Annette, for premium. Premium Plus is the top tier. So it's about, I think, $10 or so more a month to include the EatLove benefit. But let's talk about probiotics first. Probiotics, or gut health in general, refers to the balance. Think of this as a scale of optimal functioning for the gastrointestinal tract, including the stomach, the small intestines, the large intestine, which is also known as the colon. So I believe if you were to, and it's a funny thing that we learned in school, that the small intestine is actually longer than the long intestine. I forget how many feet it is. It's very, very lengthy if you were to stretch it all the way out. So there is a lot that is going on digestion-wise inside that we cannot see on the outside. The things that we may be experiencing are symptoms, and we'll talk a little bit about dysbiosis today, but we can listen to, this is a really good opportunity to start tuning in and listening to our bodies of what it's telling us, how we can make some functional changes in our day-to-day diets and just our overall lifestyle. So probiotics are defined as foods or supplements that contain, foods or supplements that contain live microorganisms, primarily bacteria, intended to maintain or improve good bacteria in the body, contributing to overall health. So what these are, it's a balancing act, help versus harm. So it's easy to sort these microorganisms into two categories. We have the gut healthy boosting side that keeps those pathogens in check, that offer health benefits, that keep the production of the toxic byproducts at bay that cause inflammation. or diarrhea or any other dysbiosis symptoms. And then we have the ones that are creating those symptoms. So we find that the greater diversity of these microorganisms allows our gut to be resilient and bounce back from disturbances like dysbiosis. We'll talk a little bit about how to get gut variety. Usually that just involves getting everything that we can possibly eat in terms of prebiotics and probiotics, having them regularly and routinely in our diets, and not eating the same things day after day. We want to kind of spice up our gut and keep it on its toes, not really letting it know what's coming next. And that's how we really do expand that gut diversity. And dysbiosis is caused by a plethora of things. It can be caused by diet, stress, hygiene, medications, and particularly from those antibiotics. So symptoms of dysbiosis include the following categories. We have gastro, just the general overall, immune, nutritional, psychological, and metabolic. So looking at gastro, I'm sure all of these we've experienced many times in our lives: bloating, diarrhea, constipation, abdominal pain, gas, and nausea. Then we have the general, the systemic symptoms: the fatigue, the brain fog, the headaches, the skin issues. Immune-wise, we have frequent infections, like maybe our immune system is just not as healthy as we want it to be. Autoimmune conditions, there's lots of, I think there's actually hundreds of autoimmune conditions, and then also allergies. On the nutritional side, these are going to be things like vitamin and mineral deficiencies. If we're not able to properly absorb certain nutrients in our day-to-day life, is a symptom of dysbiosis. Psychological, that's going to be the anxiety and depression side of things. We actually are learning more and more about the gut-brain axis and connection, that our brain health actually begins in our gut. So it's not just, like I mentioned earlier, the small intestine, colon, and the stomach health that we're looking at. We're looking at an entire systemic climate that we're looking at for all of our intakes. And then metabolic, our weight changes, our sugar cravings. So this is a really interesting topic as well. We've talked a lot about weight loss in the past. We did a couple of GLP-1 presentations earlier in this year that we definitely talked about the weight changes and metabolic piece of that. So I believe those are available on recording as well. So what are the benefits of probiotics? Everything that we saw here is going to be the flip side of that. So why do we want to get probiotics in our diet, and why do we want to keep our gut healthy to support the probiotics that are already existing there? Digestive health, of course, maintaining a healthy balance of gut bacteria, preventing and treating diarrhea. Those are the healthy poop side of things, alleviating IBS symptoms, and potentially managing IBD. On the immune support side, we're going to enhance production of natural antibodies and stimulating immune cells. This is going to keep you healthy longer. So a really good activity is just to think about the last time you were sick or had a common cold. Proper gut hygiene is going to help reduce those infections, reduce those reoccurring 24-hour colds, or just when we're feeling under the weather. Skin health is going to be the reduction of inflammation to help manage acne and reduce severity of eczema and psoriasis. Of course, nutrient absorption, so increasing the production of digestive enzymes for breaking down nutrients, which can lead to better absorption overall of vitamins and minerals and a whole bunch. I believe B vitamins are going to be one of those big ones, calcium and magnesium supplements as well. Mental health, of course, the positive effect on influencing gut-brain axis and improving mood and cognitive function. And metabolic health, so weight management and improvement of insulin sensitivity, aiding in sugar and blood sugar management. So should you take a probiotic? Your physician, your health professional, as always, consult before you do any type of reconfiguring to your interventions. Is if you've had any symptoms of the dysbiosis, may be worthwhile to bring up to your physician at your next check-in to see if a probiotic is correct for you. The next one would be an illness that weakened your microbiome. This could be anything that could, common cold, flu-like symptoms, anything that would weaken your microbiome because you were feeling sick. It's the pathogens won that day, we'll call it. So what has been wiped out in that process, you want to put it back in. And then, of course, after a course of antibiotics can wipe out your gut microbiota in a single dose or a treatment of that. So you definitely want to be cautious. Your physician or healthcare provider may recommend one after your course of antibiotics. And the effective probiotics must have the following. So it must have varieties that help proven benefits for your body. Now, there's a lot of research in the space on this. I encourage everyone to do their own research before taking anything that I say at face value. So you want to make sure that the variety has proven benefits, the strain has proven benefits for your body and for the goals that you're looking to achieve. The next one is that it has to be safe in the form that you are taking it in. The most popular way to take probiotics is going to be in the oral supplement form. I believe there's some creams and topical things that are available on the market as well, but by far the most popular is going to be the oral supplements. And it's going to have microbiomes that contain that have survived the manufacturing process, basically going through the lab and processing and all of that situation so that it's in the bottle and gets to you. They have to survive. So you're obviously going to lose some in that process. And of course, they also have to survive the journey through your digestive tract, especially if they're an oral supplement. So lots of things to take into consideration here when we are choosing a probiotic, but they do have to have these to be effective. So what are some of the most researched probiotics on the market? Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, and Acidophilus, definitely going to be the top three that you're going to come across. You will see all of these are available and over the counter in different strains and different varieties. Again, speak with your healthcare provider to figure out which option is going to be most effective for you if you are looking to treat any of those symptoms of dysbiosis with a probiotic. Acidophilus, probably the most well-known, and it's found naturally throughout your body, all through it, and can help restore balance of your microbiomes. So definitely something that you want to take consideration of if experiencing any of those symptoms, but knowing that you can get these through food. Now, they're not going to be as concentrated, but if we're looking at the concentrations of the following, we're going to get some pretty good options. I know some of these foods are actually my favorite. I think it has to do with just like the sourness of things and how like it can be kind of be a little bit salty. But if we're looking at the top here, I've put them in order of least to most concentrated in CFUs. That's colony forming units is the metric that we measure probiotics in our foods. So the lowest end is going to have, yes, Annette, you will have access to the webinar after this is complete. So under 1 billion CFUs are going to be sourdough bread, which is personally my favorite bread. I absolutely love sourdough bread for anything. French toast, sandwiches, you name it. I'm using sourdough for everything. Miso soup. When I order anything from any of my local Asian cuisine restaurants, I'm throwing in a miso soup. One, because I'm absolutely obsessed with the flavor, but two, for these probiotic concentration. The contains 1 to 5 billion is going to be our cottage cheese. So any cottage cheese that we like to have contains 1 to 10 billion CFUs is going to be a plethora. This is going to be the sweet spot for the majority of our fermented foods, because these are all going to be fermented. Sauerkraut and kimchi, kombucha, which is my favorite drink of all time, pickles, tempeh, and yogurt. And then we have kefir, which is the standalone winner with 10 to 50 billion CFU units. So again, these are all estimations. Every product is going to be different. So definitely check your label for live active cultures. You can also contact the manufacturer for more info or look up the product online, but it will and it should have that information on the label for you to get a better idea of what is available in those products. I see them, kombucha, absolutely. Like if I'm just thinking about things that I've just casually seen on the label, kombucha will definitely have that on the label. So lots of really, and I believe kefir as well. So lots of great options in here to just get more probiotics in your diet. This is always, always, always a good place to start. I'm always going to prioritize food first. So if we're looking to do anything tomorrow and you're not getting any of these foods in your diet, is to start getting one a week. That's probably the easiest thing I can make in terms of a recommendation. All right, so next we have, of course, the disclaimer. As always, supplements in general, not just probiotics, are not regulated by the FDA. So manufacturers don't actually have to prove anything, which is very scary. So, you know, supplements are $1 billion industry, which is terrifying because of the non-regulation side of it. Now, some supplements and organizations can have third-party testing, and it will denote that on the label. Always great to have that because it's not a requirement. So anyone, I mean anyone, can just bottle something up and sell it at face value. And if we don't do our own research, we could be misled very severely. That could have terrible repercussions for our health further down the line. So always recommended to consult a knowledgeable healthcare provider on what may work for your needs. And if you already currently are taking probiotic supplements, ensure that it's consistent at the dose and recommendation on the label so that you can properly judge how well it's working. That's the other thing, is that since this is all internal, all we really have is the external symptoms or the feelings of how things are working. We don't really know for sure unless we do more invasive blood testing or anything like that. So definitely if you are taking one already, you do want to be consistent with it and taking it at the dosage recommended so that you can judge if the intervention is working as it's intended. We don't want to be taking supplements for absolutely no reason if they aren't working. So switching over to prebiotics, I know, Annette, it is actually the scariest thing. And it's not really well known either. So it's always something that I want to mention again, just to make sure that you can, like, there's great websites that you can, like NSF is a really good one if you're looking for third party, the highest standard. These are the supplements that are regulated that let's say like Olympic athletes can be taking, because they, of course, are being drug tested for the Olympics. So those ones are the ones that have to be like, everything in the bottle has to be on the label because of that severity of their sport. So if you're looking for something that is spot on, like it has to attribute to every single consideration, NSF certified is probably the gold standard. Prebiotics, and let's talk about those. And another thing is because they are very expensive, those certifications are. So that is why most of them are not. So prebiotics are the non-digestible food components that promote the growth and activity of beneficial microorganisms in the gut. So unlike probiotics, which are live, prebiotics serve as the food for the beneficial gut bacteria, helping to enhance our activity and improve our gut health. So think of prebiotics as the fruit to the probiotics, the vegetable to the probiotics. It is the fuel that makes it like, yay, I got food. I feel like I can battle an army right now. So that's really what we're looking to do. This is what we're going to get through our food aspect. So some of the prebiotics I want to highlight today, there are many more, but these three are probably the most well-known. Then we have some resistant starch, which had some fiber as well. One thing I do want to note is that while some prebiotics are fibers, which of course we know, again, if we want to do one thing tomorrow is just get more fiber in our diet, that's going to contribute a lot to gut health. Not all prebiotics are fibers, which means they are not contributing to the fibrous aspect and the count of fiber in our diet overall, but nonetheless are very good foods to incorporate into our diet. So inulin, fructooligosaccharides, and galactosaccharides are the three that I want to highlight today. And inulin is going to be found naturally in many plants, including chicory root, garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, and bananas. And the function is to promote the growth of that beneficial gut bacteria, the two that we talked about, bifidobacteria and lactobacilli in the colon. So those, again, popular in our bodies, and fueling our food is fueling the growth and the maintenance of those two very important probiotics in our systems already. Fructooligosaccharides are found in many of the same sources as inulin, as well as whole grains. So that is another checkpoint for getting more whole grains in our diet. Also contributes a bit more fiber, tiny bit more protein. And it acts similarly to inulin as well, stimulating the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Then we have the galactooligosaccharides, which are found in human milk and dairy products, so our yogurts, our cottage cheeses of the world, and some legumes. So these selectively stimulate the growth of bifidobacteria as well. So I wanted to kind of put this into perspective of what it looks like going through our system, since it is such an internal process, that if we are taking in our inulin, FOS, and GOS containing foods, we can see that throughout our system down here. It's kind of a little small and the colors kind of blend together. But these compounds are resistant to our gastric acidity. So when they reach our stomach through our esophagus, they don't digest in there. Like many things in our stomach start that process. That breakdown actually begins in our mouth with amylase. And then when it hits that stomach, it's starting to break down and degrade further so that we can absorb these nutrients into our bloodstream. So what happens is that it bypasses the upper intestine and it starts to go into our colon, where they are metabolized by our microbiota. the bifidobacteria and the lactobacilli. So you can see here that inulin is fermented by both, and GOS and FOS are especially fermented by the bifidobacteria. And again, it's keeping those armies healthy. So if we're getting more of these foods, we're actually producing to the natural growth of those probiotics in our system to begin with, without a supplement. So always great when we can use that to our advantage. And then the prebiotic benefits, very similar to the probiotic benefits, because they kind of start the chain, the precursor to making sure that our probiotics are going to be as strong as they can be to fight off pathogens and toxins, is promoting bacteria growth, serving as that beneficial gut bacteria, helping them flourish, of course. The one thing I do want to mention that we haven't talked about yet is the production of short chain fatty acids. So prebiotic fermentation produces the short chain fatty acids. There's a couple of them that are really well known, like butyrate, acetate, and propionate, which provide the following. So when we talk about reducing inflammation, when we talk about maintaining intestinal lining, when we talk about providing energy to colon cells, that is all because we're getting the prebiotics into our systems, that this production of short chain fatty acids can actually take place. So it's a little bit of a biochemistry lesson here, but it's all connected. My message at the end of the day is that everything is going to be connected. So we want to start the chain reaction so that this production of short chain fatty acids can occur and provide the following support and benefits to our system. Of course, enhanced digestive health, promoting bowel regularity, reducing symptoms of constipation and diarrhea, and helping to manage things like IBS. We know the immune system support. We've talked about this when it's protecting our cells against infection and disease, and improve mineral absorption, enhance absorption, essential like minerals like calcium and magnesium. So a couple of tips that we can do tomorrow to get started on maintaining a healthy gut is to eat that balanced diet. That balanced diet is going to provide that food, the essential nutrients and fiber to promote a diverse gut microbiome. So like I mentioned, things that we can do easily is to make sure that we're constantly switching up the types of meals that we're having. I know many of us, myself included, tend to go towards something very similar for breakfast. It's usually a yogurt-based dish. I'm getting a lot of probiotics in that, so that's good. But I do want to switch it up some days. I want to have something else so that I can keep my gut on its toes, and I'm getting new nutrition to my system so that it's like, hey, didn't see that before. That's a potential threat. Let me build a colony to protect if anything were to come around that would latch on to that bacteria in the future. So very essential to get a wide variety of diet intake. Increase your fiber intake is obviously going to help our bowel movement, support the growth of beneficial gut bacteria, and aid in overall digestion. So fiber intakes are around 25 grams a day for women and about 36 grams a day for men. And another really great place to start if you're not sure, just log in your journal, wherever you're logging. You can do that in EatLove as well, and figure out what you, on average, where your fiber intake is coming from. Because that, I believe, is going to be one of the easiest and most effective ways to feel a difference in your gut health tomorrow. Now, if you find that you're at 15 grams, you need to get to 25, increasing 10 grams overnight may be a lot. You may experience some symptoms that are like gut dysbiosis, like bloating or gas right away, but that's just your body getting used to the system. So increase your intake as when possible. Staying hydrated. So adequate fluid intake to maintain optimal gut digestion and prevent constipation is obviously very important. And I always use this really weird analogy, but fiber cannot go through your system without the water to assist it. So imagine yourself going down a water slide with no water. It's going to get stuck. It's going to feel really uncomfortable. You're going to feel bloated and very backed up. So make sure that you stay hydrated as well. Limiting your processed food intake is going to be another very important option to have. And that is often containing unhealthy additives, preservatives, and artificial sweeteners that can disrupt the gut microbiome. It's going to disrupt it in not a favorable way because it doesn't know how to handle a lot of that. So the more positive reinforcement that we can provide, the better. And of course, including your fermented foods that we talked about a few slides back. All right, so looking at some of our gut healthy meals, and I picked some of my favorites, particularly the one on the bottom right here. is the vegetarian Reuben. So I'm gonna actually post this collection to our Facebook group tomorrow morning. So that is available for everyone to join. I believe it's YouFit times EatLove on Facebook, and you'll be able to add yourself as a member because I will be posting this collection tomorrow of delicious recipes. You have our berries and yogurt on here. We have a fava bean, crostini over here. We have cottage cheese over here. Avocados are also going to be really gut healthy. This is a tempeh burger. So another great alternative if you want to start whipping these up, freeze them, and then have them. It'll be a really easy meal to throw together during the week. Here's a homemade miso soup that looks delicious. And then, like I said, this is one of my favorite recipes on EatLove. And it's a vegetarian Reuben that has pickles and sauerkraut. So very high in fermented foods. So I do want to talk a little bit about the in-house nutrition benefit that you all have with the Premium Plus membership with the last couple minutes that we have today. So YouFit's in-house nutrition program with EatLove. What is EatLove? We are a personalized nutrition guidance 24/7 for every eating occasion. So when you log in, create your profile, and you log into the EatLove app, you are going to have meals recommended for you 24/7, wherever you are in the country. So if you want to make something at home, you can do that. If you want to go to a popular restaurant chain like Starbucks or Chipotle and figure out how to eat there, we're going to show you meals for that as well. We have ready-made meals and meal kits. We're also integrated with grocery delivery, saving yourself about 90 minutes a week. And you can also track your food, get comprehensive nutrition analysis, join our Facebook group, and then of course our monthly webinars that we do every single month without fail to learn more about nutrition topics. So over here, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. I have created my EatLove profile, and this is what it looks like. It looks like a Spotify playlist of meals. And for my lunch today, I have guacamole and peppers. And I also have selected a nutrition prescription that is known as our microbiome booster. So if gut health is one of your primary goals and you're not sure where to get started, when you create your profile, it's going to ask you what your goal is. You can select one of them. So if I wanted to change my plan to something else, it's not just gut health that we're after. We support everything you could possibly think of. So managing any type of chronic condition, any type of goals that you have, if you want to eat anti-inflammatory, if you want to eat for GLP-1 weight loss, Mediterranean diet. But the microbiome booster is going to be the one that is going to have the following options in here. So we're keeping our saturated fat at bay because we don't want a lot of fatty foods to disrupt our gut. We want to keep our added sugar at a max that we don't want to exceed. Again, we don't want a lot of processed foods that will create gut imbalances. We do want to get a minimum of fiber, of course, fruits, vegetables, and we're tracking foods that have positive benefits of getting the prebiotics and fuel to help our gut healthy. So that is berries and nuts and seeds. So all of the recommendations here utilize that nutrition template in more detail. So we don't have to worry about that. It's one less thing we can check off and kind of move on with our day so that we can choose something that truly looks good in the moment. Maybe I don't want the snack for lunch, but I can have any of the following that's going to match my nutrition requirements. And you can see here that we have lots of those dairy products in here. We have the inulin coming from the bananas. And I believe FOS as well. So lots of really great options that are going to take gut health to the priority and check off the box that you're getting those foods in your intake. Now, since expanded view, I will show you down here. So if I wanted to swap anywhere in the country, again, it doesn't have to just be smart choices. It can be restaurant meals as well. And if I wanted to go to Chipotle for dinner, what would that look like? What can I eat based on my macronutrients, and my food group recommendations? So I have a ton of options that keep me within my goals. And I always say something is better than nothing. So if we have to do a fast food restaurant or a fast casual restaurant that night, so be it. I can make a really positive choice that's still going to keep me in line with my goals while not having to dwell on the aftermath of feeling guilty and having to interfere with the choices that I make later on in the day or the week for that matter. Now, if you have your meal set, your schedule set, maybe you want to do 3 meals for the week. You can add them to your grocery list. You get your grocery list automatically. It tells you exactly what you need. You can check off items that you already have so that you're not overbuying spices. We know how expensive these are nowadays. And then you can also add a la carte items. So anything, your entire grocery list can be done in here. So it's really great to get the family involved, kind of delegate yourself out of a job if you are the nutritionist of your family. So having someone do the grocery shopping, someone else can do the planning if they want to, but you can add anything in there, and then you can actually buy online through one of our third-party integrations, as you can see here. We have all of Instacart, so not just the ones you see here, but it would be based on your zip code as to what's available to you. Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods, and Walmart as well. So I order my groceries every single week, saves me at least 2 hours. I love waking up on Sundays because they're already at my front door, and that allows me the time to actually prep anything. Like if I want to do any chopping of my vegetables or preserving of my fruits for the week to make sure they last until Friday, I'm going to do that on Sunday. And then I significantly cut down my prep time involved. So I'm trying to remove the barriers, of me having a long day at work and not wanting to actually cook anything. So if you know yourself, you may be experiencing some very similar things. Life is busy. We're all busy. We just want to make it really easy on ourselves. And that's one really great way to do it. Another incredible value add that you're going to get from the platform is the addition of nearly 8,000 dietitian approved recipes immediately. So if you're looking for just anything to inspire you to get more variety in your diet, this is a really great way to do that. And if you wanted to search for certain ingredients, specifically, like if I wanted to do pickles, because I want to increase my fermented foods, I have 178 options for pickled recipes or recipes that include pickles in them. And you can do the same thing and you can add them like easy dill, carrots. This is a great recipe for a snack and I can schedule it immediately into my planner. Even if microbiome booster isn't your main goal, you can still use the search and the keywords to find exactly what you're looking for. You can even filter based on cuisine type, dish type, the type of equipment used in it, even the amount of micronutrients and macros in that particular recipe. So really great way to just keyword search and filter to find exactly what you're looking for and provide that dish into your planner. The last thing I want to call out today is the daily log. And we are a validated tool, which means that we're not crowdsourced. So we can't not, when you add meals and ingredients to your database, it's only available to you because this is a medical grade platform. We work with top healthcare systems and hospitals in the country and also fuel private practice physician and dietitian practices. So they are using this technology with their patients and you have access to it through UFIT at a fraction of the cost even. So having the ability to get access to this data and track your intake that's accurate and provide you a really complete picture of your intake is very it's invaluable. So you can check yes if you ate something specific. You can also add through our comprehensive foods database. Doesn't have to be anything that is in your plan, but if you wanted to add an RX bar, we have those too. We also have an AI label reader, which makes it really easy to track things that are not in our database. So all you would do is create a custom food and take a picture of the nutrition facts label on your phone because we do have an app. And it will read that label, pull that information off, and boom, it's logged in a couple of seconds. So we have the second generation of this technology. Some crowdsourced platforms only have the first generation and they charge about $19 a month for access to some of those premium features. So that feature alone is going to be a value add for you to have access to. And then you can do water, weight tracking, exercise notes, and then export a very comprehensive report of your nutrition analysis. It's going to give you all the answers. So if you're not sure, like, is this right? Am I on par with what I should be based on my age and gender? We tell you all that information when you do export the nutrition analysis, provides quick values and then ability for you to make any changes based on your goals and long-term. All right, so that is Eat Love in a nutshell. I kept you guys a little bit over today, but I appreciate you all staying on. I'm not going to have time to go through all of the questions today, but feel free to email our support line, support@eatlove.is, for any follow-up questions. I would say for any questions related to timing and whatnot, I would look at the instructions on the label. They're going to be the best because there's hundreds, thousands, probably even millions of these supplements out there. So I don't want to kind of generalize the overall aspect of this. So definitely check with your physician. Definitely check with what the label is claiming. And if you can find one that is third-party tested, even better. But yes, Erica, this will work for planning for families. Everything has a link to it. So all the recipes that you want to share So everyone that can download the app in the family, everyone can log in, and then they can plan together. You can put in the family group chat. Hey, what does this dinner look like for Wednesday? And then someone's like, yeah, looks good. We're all on the same page. Boom, you can schedule it into your planner. So it works really well for families overall. I am also craving pickles now. Thank you guys. But I hope you have a really great rest of your week. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions through our support line, and let us know what else you want us to present on. These webinars are for your benefit. We are happy to present on anything you guys have questions on. But have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon.